All right, just started the recording. So we are currently still in the New York session. It's around 11:24 a.m. on a Tuesday. So I'm going to try to mark this up the best way I can so we can actually get a good entry on this pair. So once again, my name is Paul McMillan II, and I'm a full-time Forex trader with Epic Trading, and as well as a network marketer and investor. One of the things we do at Epic is we teach people exactly how to trade on their own, but while they're learning to trade on their own, they can actually earn while they're learning through our trade alerts. So we're going to look at the USD JPY pair, and that's the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. It's very important to understand different time frame analysis and understanding what price is doing, because depending on your trading style, that's what's going to make you a consistent, profitable trader. So it's always good to understand the charts, understand the candlesticks, market structure, support and resistance, and all that other stuff. So I'm going to kind of break it down to you guys very simply so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Now, first thing we're going to want to do is actually look at the daily time frame. The daily time frame is important because if you are a swing trader or a day trader, you're going to want to know exactly what price is going to be doing on the daily time frame. That way you're not caught into the wrong trend, so that way you don't lose money. You'll be able to consistently win trades in the market on the daily time frame or the weekly time frame without exposing your account to too much risk and losing too much money. So I'm going to show you guys how I mark up all the time frames all the way to the 15-minute. Since I'm a scalper at the moment, I typically trade at the 15-minute, but I always mark up my charts from the daily time frame to the 15 minutes so I can understand exactly what price is doing on the 15-minute level. Then it also helps me to understand how price is moving on the bigger time frames. So when I decide to elevate my trading style, I know exactly what I'm looking for. So what we're going to do at this point here is we're going to mark up the daily time zones. Now I'm going to kind of explain exactly what support and resistance is and what market structure is while I'm marking at this chart. So I'm going to switch to the line chart. So the first thing we're going to want to do is find the most recent high. That's the very first thing we want to do. So the most recent high I can see is right here. So we're going to mark this as a daily zone, and it's going to actually be labeled on the left side here, daily support and resistance. All right, and I'm going to explain exactly what support and resistance is as well. So the most recent low is down here. So we want to mark this. Daily support and resistance. Now, support is like the flooring of a building, the flooring of or the ground foundation of a house. Our job is to try to build a house from the foundation up. If you start from a strong foundation, you want to have a strong house. The same thing when you're marking up your charts. If you start from a strong foundation between support and resistance, then you're going to have you're going to have solid trade ideas. It's going to give you very good trade setups, which is going to give you more opportunities to make money in the market. All right. So I want to kind of actually label this. So this here, let me actually move this up to the top here. So I want to put a text here. So this line is called resistance slash ceiling. So it's like the ceiling of a house or a building. All right. So we're going to put that here. And at the bottom here, I'm going to actually put support, also known as floor. Right. I want to put that right here. So that way we get an idea of what that is. And the reason why I'm putting that is because I want to help you to understand how price moves in the market. So typically the way price moves, we have support and resistance already drawn here. Now, I want you to note something here. Even when you look all the way over here, right? you notice that price actually hit this line here. So because price is above this line, it's actually considered support at this point, because over here, price broke this trend line. So as you can see, this daily resistance here was turned into support once price broke this trend line, retested, and went up. So you want to always understand that when the market hits support or resistance at least 3 times, maybe 2 to 4 times, it's going to make a major move in the market. Well, how do we know that? Price actually hit support here. If we drew a horizontal line here and this was support, it would have hit support at least 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And then it retested again, broke this line, retested, and made this support now, which way was resistance down here, made this support, and now it shot up, and then now it's going into a consistent uptrend. And then when you even look up here, price actually hit resistance 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then made a huge drop. All right. So then when it made a huge drop, it started creating a downtrend, because even though it went down and went into an uptrend, but this high is lower than this previous high here. So you can see that even though it did go into an uptrend. So really in reality, even though this high is lower, it did go into an uptrend because this high is a little bit higher than this one. But then it actually took a drop because it hit resistance at least 3 or 4 times and dropped and created a downtrend. And it did it once again, and it went down and broke this line. And now this is actually resistance once again, even though it was support previously here. Then it hit support 1 or 2, 3 times, broke through, and now to create another upside. So what you have to understand is when price hits support or resistance at least 3 to 4 times in the market, it's going to create a major move. So that's why it's good to always create these daily lines, because now you have an idea of exactly where you currently are on the daily time frame. So you can see clearly that it's actually in a downtrend at this point. So we know that. So if you want to trade at the daily time frame, and if you wanted to scalp this, you would have to figure out exactly when to enter in for a scalp. Probably at this point, if you were to carefully look at this, you probably would have to figure out if this trend is almost done going down, and maybe it might reverse and go back up again, or is it going to continue to go down and break the structure and go down further? That's what you got to figure out if you were a swing or swing trader or a daily swing trader or day trader. So now I'm going to actually grab my rules here. We're going to start marking up this chart. We're going to see if we can actually find a good trade idea off of this pair. So what we have here, so the next thing we're going to want to do, we marked up the daily zone. So we kind of have an idea of at least what trend we're currently in. So this is actually a downtrend. How do we know? It's creating lower lows and lower highs. This high is lower than this previous high here, and so on and so forth. So you know it's a downtrend. So at least you know that much. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually switch over to the 4-hour. Now, like I mentioned before, we're going to build this house from the foundation up. So like I mentioned before, when we search this out, this is resistance in the ceiling. So we're going to actually move this over, put this right here, so that way we can see these texts. So let me go back and find it. What it is. Let me go back to the daily time frame and bring it over. And let me just bring it over right here. All right, so now we're going to go back to the 4-hour. So now we see this. So we're just going to move this over here. That way you guys can actually see what support and resistance stand for. So I like to draw it out to make this very transparent, so that way you guys can get it. All right. So now Our job on the 4-minute is to actually draw up horizontal lines so that respect support and resistance at this point. So we're going to start from the bottom and we're going to work our way up to the top. So just picture yourself building a house from the foundation all the way to the top here. So here's what I mean about price that respects support and resistance. So I'm going to put a horizontal line here and I'm going to label it the 4 hour. All right. So price was respected as support right here because when it hit, it was respected as resistance. So when it hit down, it started to go back up. And it's kind of the same thing here, is using this as resistance here. So this is a good line. Now let's draw the next one. So we're going to go right here. So now that we see that actually this was respected as support at this point, right? So this is a good line right there. Now we're going to move it up a little bit further. So now this line was supported as resistance at this point because it bounced up and then it broke. But then it was also respected as resistance when it hit here, came up, boom, went down, and then broke it again. And then it respected this as resistance right here. But then previously it was respected as support right here when it hit this line. So that's good there. So now we're going to do the same thing here. So price is breaking this line here, hitting it as support, and that's why it's bouncing up, hitting that support, and it bounced up and then it dropped. But then, as you can see over here, it's respected as support, but then right here, when it kind of went up, it was respected as resistance. So when you draw up these trend lines, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to give you an indication of where price is hitting support and resistance at least 3 or 4 times. So right here, hit this as resistance, but previously it was hitting this as support right here. Okay, so that's good. So now let's go up a little bit further. All right, so now we see that. Then we're going to also draw another one here. So now we have an idea of exactly what price is doing on the 4 hour. So it gives us a better idea of good entries at this point. All right. That's why you want to also build these up. So give me a second, guys. All right. So now that we know that, the next thing I typically do is I try to figure out, okay, what exactly trend are we currently in at this point? So we see that price went up. Now, this is how you can identify a trend. Do you see a higher high or lower high or a higher high? Or do you see a higher high that forms a lower low than a lower high and then so on and so forth? Well, we see that there's a lot of lower lows and a lower highs. So this is clearly a downtrend right here. This is clearly a downtrend. Let me turn this off. So actually, I might need to keep my phone on just in case. So we're going to draw this trend line. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw this here because it's truly going into a downtrend. You can see prices hitting resistance at least 3 times. 1, 2, 3, then boom, and then it's shot down. So then I'm going to actually draw a price channel. Because now we clearly see that it's going into a downtrend. Okay. So another way that I identify what trend it is that I go into my membership platform that I built for my team. And I'm going to go to step 5 and identify trend patterns that are in this market. All right, so we want to actually go down here. So what we want to find out is we want to find out is this going to be a reversal pattern or is it going to be a continuation pattern? Okay. So we see that price shot up. So it comes in, hits resistance at least 2 to 3 times, and then it takes a huge drop to the downside. Okay. So we know that price is going to eventually do this. So I'm going to actually mark this up. It's going to go down, create a lower high, lower low. It's probably going to hit this support and then start going up, cross this trend line, retest, and then start creating higher highs and lower highs, which identifies an uptrend. Okay. So I'm going to draw this out very quickly. So this is what is going to eventually happen. Now, if we see that, right, is this a reversal pattern or continuation pattern? Well, let's find out. So we see that price came in and then hit and went straight down. So we see that when we look even here, which pattern shows that it's coming in this way, it's coming up, and then it's going to spiraling down. Well, could it be this one? Well, price came in straight in, but this is not spiraling down, spiraling up in an uptrend. Okay, that's not it. Same thing with this one. This is in a consolidation, so price is actually going straight. It's not going to an uptrend or a downtrend. It's consolidating. That's not it. Same thing with this one. This is not it. It's not consolidating. It's going into a downtrend. So it looks like a falling wedge here. So if it's a falling wedge, that means it's going to be a continuation pattern. What we mean by continuation pattern? Well, as you can see, price went into an uptrend right here. Went to a downtrend and now it's continuing into an uptrend. That's why it's a continuation pattern. So we're going to actually type that in. So we're going to say falling wedge, continuation pattern. So we know that it's eventually going to go into an uptrend once again. So this is important to know because if you're an intraday trader, you're going to probably mark up your charts on the 4-hour, entering in the 1 hour to get an idea of what to do here, when to exit and when to enter, exit out of this trend, and then when it continues to the upside, then knowing when to enter in here, and then maybe exit out when the trend is done. That's how you can make your money. That's the key to making money in the market, is knowing the right entries and exits. So now that we know that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to save my progress. I'm going to actually draw an arrow, continuation pattern. So I'm just going to basically just draw a line here. Lets me know that it's a continuation pattern. Now I'm going to actually erase these. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to actually keep this because I can actually jump in when price goes to this direction later. But what I am going to do is erase this and this and this, because I'm going to actually try to scalp this if there are any more sells in this trend. But if not, then I'm going to actually set it up to where I can enter in either here or here. So we'll see. So we know that basically on the 4-hour time frame. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch to the hour time frame and see what price is doing. And so now we can actually see what price is doing here. So first thing I want to do is switch to the candlestick. Now, let's see if we can identify market structure here. Now, the first thing I'm going to actually do is kind of mark up. Sometimes I use the horizontal lines to mark up the hour, but I'm going to actually use the rectangle this time. How about that? So before I even do that, you see that price actually hit resistance up here. So I'm going to draw this rectangle line here. I'm going to draw it across. So you see that it hit resistance or the ceiling at least 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. Now you see a downtrend forming here. All right. It broke this, but then it kind of hit support maybe right here a little bit. No. It probably hit resistance. Boom, 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 and took another sell here. So then I'm going to take another rectangle and draw it here. Even though this horizontal line represents the resistance that this hit here, it represents this, but I'm going to draw this just to kind of make it a little bit more visible. All right. So then now the question is, okay, so I'm going to actually take another horizontal line and put it right here. I'm going to make this the 1 hour. And here's the reason why I'm going to do this. Because now it hit resistance here, right? So it went down, boom, boom, boom. Took another downside. Now it's starting to retest and hit this line as resistance. So then the question is, what is it going to do next? Well, now we wanted to try to move this down and make this support. So it's probably going to hit this support line at least. So it broke this, and now it's resistance here. So it's probably going to hit this resistance here another 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. And then break this structure and hit down here before it starts rising up and breaking this trend line and going to the continuation pattern. So now that we understand that, if I wanted to do an intraday trade, I would probably draw it out to where, actually, let me do this. I'll probably draw it out to where I'm expecting resistance to do this, do this, do this, and then break. And if it breaks, then I'm going to enter in for a sell here and try to gather as many pips as I can and have it hit take profit down here. All right. So that's what I would probably do on the hour. If I was to trade at the hour, probably going to do the same thing on the 15. So that's what I would do. Now on the hour, the next thing we're going to do is to really figure out where price is at. We're going to turn in the EMA 50 line. Now I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tip here. Let me turn this off here. Save my progress. So now, whatever price is above this blue line here, that's the 50 EMA line. Now, here's the next thing I'm going to do. And this is one of the things I'm going to do at this point. I started using the RSI. Here's why I use the RSI. Waiting for the RSI to pop up. There we go. The RSI is going to let you know when price is overbought and oversold. So whatever price is at its all-time bottom, that lets you know that it's going to go to the upside. So you can go in for a buy. Whatever price is overbought, overbought, it's going to creep down to the downside. That's always a tip. So that's why you can always use the RSI for that. Now we see that price has been oversold, so it is going to peak up. So my thought process is based on this RSI, it's probably going to do exactly what I thought it was going to do. It's going to hit this support, boom, 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 and make it drop and probably break this trend line and go down just a little bit further. That's what I'm thinking. Now I'm going to go to the regular RSI and see where it's at on the 50. Now the 50 line is here. So it lets me know that price is below the 50. So if it's below the 50, then it lets me know that price is probably going to come up to this 50 line, hit resistance, and then shoot back down again. So then I'm going to actually draw this out. So I'm going to turn this on. So like I said before, it's probably going to hit this resistance line, come down, hit it again, come down, hit it again, boom, maybe another 3 times, and then go down, break this trend line, and probably hit this last support here. And that'll be a good take profit before it decides to reverse and start going to the upside. All right. Let me do this and draw this trend line here just to kind of connect everything. All right. So that's what I'm thinking the price is going to actually do. It's retesting, so it's probably going to go up and hit this 50 AMA line because it's right below it. So, and it's a possibility that it is going to probably create a lower high, and this lower high probably could go above this line and maybe go up. If anything, it probably might hit this here, maybe retest, maybe, and then go down. Because as you could previously see, even when price was hitting this resistance here, it went down, broke structure, but then notice it did rise up and pass this line, but it did not retest. It went back down, it went down. So it's a possibility that price could create a lower high, and maybe it looks like it's passing this line, but then it could fake out and go back down and shoot down again. So now we have that insight. So what I'm going to actually do is, let me see. So now I'm going to switch to the 15-minute time frame. We're going to figure out a very good entry. So now we're a lot closer. All right, so we're getting somewhere. So now, so notice here, and here's the funny thing. Well, now that we're on the 15-minute, it's actually right below the 50 line, and it looks like it's probably curving down, and it might create it might actually create a lower high and go up a bit. So if anything, it might create a lower high, maybe pass this line, go a little bit higher, and then come down. But eventually it's going to come down to the downside. So we're going to try to find a good entry. The next thing I'm going to actually do is I'm going to turn on this 20 pip and dip indicator. Now the 20 pip and dip indicator helps you to identify support and resistance, like what you see here, lower highs and lower lows of the market, and then higher lows and higher highs in the market. So let's see what the 20 pip and dip indicator is telling us now. It's letting us know here that there was a buy opportunity here, so you could have bought, but now it's turning into a sell. And it looks like it's starting to actually shoot down based off of here. So it might actually already be going into a sell position. It's a possibility. So let me turn on my buy and sell confirmation entry, see what it's telling me. Well, it's telling me that it's a solid buy. Hasn't told me if it's a solid sell yet. So it lets me know that it's probably going to go into a buy, maybe go down, then it's probably going to shoot up and maybe hit this as resistance. Or if worst case scenario is going to shoot all the way up, maybe create a very high channel and hit this as resistance and then start to come down. So we'll see. So I want to turn this off and turn on the 20 pip and dip indicator again. So then what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to turn on, make sure that my lines are lining up with the support and resistance of this indicator along with the 20 pip and dip support and resistance, which it is. So now it looks like it's going to go to the downside. So then what I'm thinking at this point here, I want to try to go in for a very short position. All right, a very short position. So I'm looking for price to do this. Looking for price to hit resistance here at least 3 or 4 times and then go to the downside. To confirm that it's going to the downside, I'm going to use, I would use this horizontal line. Let me see. This is what I'm looking for. Let me save this. Let me erase this here. This is what I'm looking for. Looking for price to at least hit resistance 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Come down, retest, and then go down here. And if it retests, I'm going to enter in right here. Enter in for a short position. Okay. So now, I'm going to move. Turn this off. Save it. Move this. So if that's the case, I'm going to move this horizontal line down to where this entry is at. And I'm going to set an alert. And I'm going to have it alert me when price is crossing down past this. Once per bar close, because you're going to want to do on the retest when the bar closes. And I'm going to have it, this is going to be sent to my email. So I'm going to have it tell me to say, check for possible sell entry or short position. And enter stop loss and TP1. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually training right now. Guys, that's what I would do. I would set this alarm here. I'm going to pause this video, and then I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to actually draw my stop loss and my take profit. So that way you can get an idea of how I'm going to enter into the market. So I'm going to pause this very quickly. Okay, we're back. So where were we? Okay, so I would enter for a short position once it crosses this line, because more likely, and actually, let me move this horizontal line actually up here. So once it actually crosses this line, so I'm going to put it here, it's going to retest and cross this line. Then I'm going to actually enter in for a short position here. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw up the info line. And I'm going to put a stop loss probably right here. So the info line is going to go right here. And this is the price of this. It's going to be 104, 147. So stop loss 104, 0.230. That's going to be a stop loss. And then the goal is to try to get as many sales as we can until it hits probably down here. So let's grab the ruler, see how many pips we can get from this point. Go all the way down to here. So good, we can still get 20 pips. That's good. So then we're going to draw an info line, put it right here, stretch it out. Take profit is going to be 103,742. $742. That's going to be the goal, because it's confirmed. You have solid confirmation it's going to go down that point. That's what I would do with this trade. Just sit on my hands and wait for that to happen, however long that happens. And that's what I would do as far as UJ. Turn this 20 pip and dip indicator off and turn this on. and I would just wait for the price to just alert me there. And when it does, then that's when I'm going to jump in. So can't do anything with this trade yet because we want good, solid entries. So then what I would do at this point is I would look for another pair to trade. Um, so that's going to be it for this video. Um, I might make another video today, and I'm probably going to be looking at, let's see. It's time to trade in the Forex market. So we see that we're still in the New York session. We already did, UJ. We marked that up. We could possibly maybe look at GU or EU, maybe AU. The next video, if I decide to do another video, is going to be on AU, and then we'll see what AU is doing. So you just pull it up. It's like I marked this up already. Maybe I can kind of move this over here since I know what the stop loss numbers are. Take profit. It doesn't have to be lined up, just as long as you put in the numbers in there. Trade for it, still hit it. I marked this up a couple of days ago. I think maybe it was on Sunday. And it looks like it's going to the downside like I previously encountered. That's what it looks like. I always marked this up on hourly and all the old stuff I did. So we might be able to actually get something with this. Saying a solid buy. So the stochastic RSI is saying, okay, it went up. Price probably might end up shooting down. Relative strength index. Yeah, see, it's below the 50. And yeah, it's probably going to go to the upside actually a little bit. It's probably going to go to the upside. Let me move this up to here. It's probably going to go to the upside and create a lower high. Because you can see that it formed probably a double bottom. Now it's reversing. It's probably going to go up and it's probably going to shoot up. And it's alerting a strong buy as well. So it's probably going to be hitting this support here. And maybe shooting up. But I'm actually going to stick to what I drew up before and wait for price to break this and then go down and maybe entering the numbers. 072426. Down here, so yeah, still down here. Stop loss 07298, 928 rather. Which is down here. Okay. So did I ever set an alarm? Because I could still hit this if it goes down. Let me go to my alarm list. Alerts. Always set that one. Okay, I'm going to set a new alarm for this. We'll see if we try to get in with this AU as well. And then we could try to hit the take profit on that one. A lot of alerts I got here. Let me just erase them. bear with me, guys. All right. So now that we erased all the alerts, what we're going to do is I'm going to actually, and I drew this out, but I'm going to redraw this out so that way we can see it. I'm looking for price to ultimately do this. This is what I want price to do if I'm going to enter in. I want it to cross. Actually, let me do this. Let me turn this off. I'm looking for price to hit this resistance here. And I'm looking for it to do exactly this on AU. Go down. Boom, boom, boom. See, so hit resistance, at least see. Hit it once, so maybe another 2 or 3 times. So let's just have to go down. Go up, and then I'm expecting it to take a drop down. And when it crosses this, I'm looking for a retest, and then have it go down here. All right, and that's where it's going to probably hit the take profit that I drew up. So at this point, I'm going to put a line here, and I'm going to say enter into short position. And if so, what did the stop loss? 0.72. Yeah, it's way above. So probably put a stop loss here, 0.72913. So I'm going to change that to 913. Hold on. Say that. So now, knowing that we have the stop loss and the take profit set, it's all up here. So now I'm going to set an alert with this. And I wanted to alert me that price is crossing down 1 bar per close. And the message I wanted to display to my email is price has crossed the horizontal line. Enter in stop loss and TP1 for short position on market execution. Once it alerts me on that, then that's when I'm going to enter the market. The key to being profitable in Forex is to actually is patience and knowing when to strike. It's almost like when you're hunting. You know, when a lion hunts for its herd, it waits for the right time. It waits for the, that prey to be weak, and it waits for, the right time to strike. So you want to do that the same way with the Forex. So that's what I would do at this point. Price is going to do a lot of retesting at this point, but I'm expecting to go down, retesting this shoot here. So that's what I'm going to wait for. Now, if I'm going to scout this, it probably is saying you can go in for a buy, maybe, but I will wait to confirm that first before you even do some buys. Now, if you do some buys, fine, but you will have to know when that price is going to probably create a couple of bullish candles, but then probably is going to hit this resistance, and then it's going to start either consolidating or start going down again. So you need to know that right up front that you might get maybe 5-7 pips out of this buy. Or if anything, it might go up a little bit higher, and you might be able to get some more buys, but you just need to know that at a certain point, price is going to start resisting and start shooting down. At a specific point, you need to know that. All right. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something. I might do another video marking up another pair. It might be Euro USD. We'll see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys in the next video.